What we've got here is several different concave modules that we use to harvest different kinds of crops. We've got a round bar concave, small wire concave, large wire concave, and large skip wire. If we have some trouble areas, some wetter crops, damper crops, maybe hard to thresh crops, we can throw in these, substitute these round bar modules in place of maybe our large wire, and it'll help us keep from plugging or help with crop flow through the machine, make it move a little better.
Normally, when we go into small grains, we'll start out with some small wire concaves in the front and finish out with some large wire concaves towards the rear. And then when we move into our bigger crops like soybeans or corn, we typically use a large wire towards the front and a large skip wire towards the back.
One way to tell, or about the only way to tell for sure what you need and what's going on, is to do a stall in the field. We can stall the machine, have it full of material, and then we can pull the covers off and we can look and see exactly what's going on, help us make some decisions.
Now, all these concaves aren't the same. We have left and right. The best way to tell is look on the top side of the concave and it'll have an L or an R stamped inside of it.
Just because you're using one particular style in there doesn't mean that all of them have to be that way. Sometimes crop conditions can be in such a way that we can mix and match these, and you might find that running two of these and two of these up front makes better sense and does a better job for the conditions you're working in. Also, talking about rasp bars on the rotor, we got a few different types that we use to do different jobs. This would be a standard rasp bar. We want to check those and look at them for the wear. As these start to wear down, we want to replace them. This is the bolt that holds it on. Typically, when we see the top of this bolt start to wear off and this is getting shorter, it's time for this to be changed. Anytime we want to change these, we want to do it in a manner that we change it evenly around the rotor to maintain the rotor's balance.
Towards the back of the rotor, we might have some of these spike rasp bars that have an extra lip on there for cutting up stringy, viney crops or beans or wet crop and everything like that. And then we also have, typically for corn, we'll put in these straight bars. And what these straight bars do is they interrupt the flow of crop to slow it down a little bit, get those last few kernels of corn off the cob. And on these straight bars, we want to make sure that this lip is still pronounced right there and it's not wore down too much.
The number of straight bars that we can use can be dependent on crop conditions as well. When crops are damper, when the fodder is green, we could use more of those to help aid in separation and threshing. We can put them, typically we might put two in behind modules 3 and 4. We can add an extra set in module 3 if need be. We can even add some behind module 2 if conditions warrant to help us out.
The most important thing to remember is if we're going to change the concave modules or the rasp bars, we need to make just one change at a time and go test that and come back before we make another change.